Welcome to this broadcast of SEC Softball. We're live in Starkville, Mississippi on a busy day in Stark Vegas. The annual Starkville Derby, which features the world's largest wiener dog races, and a big crowd on hand here at News Park as well for the Dogs and the Tigers. Top 20 showdown between LSU and Mississippi State. These two teams right beside each other in the SEC standings after last night's big win for the Bulldogs. Welcome into our broadcast booth here inside News Park alongside Brittany McKinney. I'm Anthony Craven, excited for Game 2 after a great Game 1 last night.
Yeah, we knew we'd get some great pitching. We got that, but we had some clutch hitting for the Bulldogs last night. Had to come from behind. LSU struck first, but saw some fight from the Bulldogs.
We saw a lot of fight on both sides. The Bulldogs ultimately get the win. Let's take a look at the highlights. It was Alyssa Faircloth who got the start in the circle for State, and she was really good.
Her go-to pitch at changeup was fooling hitters all night long. 6 2/3 inning with 11 Ks. Faircloth was dealing, but here it was Jayla Lassiter with a double to score Avery Hodge to take the early lead. Then the very next inning, a couple runners on, and Paige Ernstess answers right back with a 3-run shot of her own. And then to the 7th inning. Not happy with pausing the game to pull the tarp on for the rain. Her pitcher had a pitch in it. Really wanted to see State's pitcher have to deal with the same elements. And then she comes back out on the field, Beth Torina, head coach at LSU, and she was escorted off. And Layla Amon came in with 2 outs and the bases loaded and gets the ground ball. Mississippi State takes the first one of the series.
Let's take a look at the game last night by the numbers. A big stat right there at the very top of that graphic. 2 out hitting. LSU struggled. The Bulldogs cashed in just enough to get the win.
Yeah, both of these teams don't rely on their offense, so they have to manufacture runners into scoring position. That usually takes a couple outs. So 2 out hitting, you're exactly right. It's going to be a key difference in today's game, too.
Mississippi State looking to take the series here on Senior Day. LSU trying to even the series, and it will be the Bulldogs going to one of those seniors, Tasia Gould, who has been the most consistent starter for State this season.
She has really stepped into that role as the ace. 1, Faircloth, the ace 2. I mean, they're all aces on this set, but Tasia Gould has been that go-to arm for Mississippi State. Transferred in from Chattanooga. She's had some great numbers and outstanding senior season for Gould, and what she does so well is she spins the ball. She's not going to blow hitters away with her velocity, but her spin rate is better than I have ever seen. She throws about mid-60s, drop ball curve change, but the curve spin, if you want to see a ball dance and some movement today, stay tuned for this game.
We saw LSU's offense struggle against Faircloth, a different MSU pitcher today, but what if your LSU do you think will give them some confidence perhaps, seeing someone that has a bit of a different arsenal?
Somebody that doesn't have the same changeup as Alyssa Faircloth has got to make LSU feel a little bit better about going into this game. Really did like their patience. We knew they were a patient hitting team, have over 200 walks on the season. They didn't chase out of the zone. I think they keep that same mindset today and know what they're hunting, know that curveball is coming. They've got to pick a side of the plate.
A player for LSU to keep an eye on is the former Mississippi State infielder, shortstop Kylie Edwards. Did not get a hit last night, but was hit twice. Got on base 3 times, also had a base on balls. She is a catalyst for this LSU team offensively. An LSU team that's been kind of up and down offensively, seemingly found their footing the last couple of weekends, but they were handcuffed by Faircloth last night.
Yeah, and they're not the only team that's been handcuffed by Faircloth, but LSU coming into this series has been trending in the right direction, and the implications aren't just SEC standings. You see here, looking ahead to the postseason, RPI, one of those big factors that the selection committee uses to seed teams, host teams, and LSU coming in at 12 there, Mississippi State 17. A little bit of movement after last night's game, and DSR and KPI are also some criteria that the selection committee can use when looking ahead to the postseason. You know, both of these teams want a chance to have regionals at their home field.
You can see a scenario where each get to host. You can see a scenario where neither gets to host. A lot can be determined the rest of this weekend and next weekend, and also at the SEC tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. There you see Paige Gould getting ready for yet another weekend start in the SEC. And there you see just some of the numbers on the year. We've already touched on it. She has been as effective as I think anyone thought she would be, maybe even more so her first year pitching in the SEC.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State brought her in knowing she was an elite arm and it could really help them, but she has done more than I think their expectations could have imagined. I think lately, though, the last series at A&M just been a little off for Paige Gould. I mean, her numbers are great, but to her standards, maybe a little bit off. I know she put in a lot of work this week in the bullpen to fine-tune some things, and has just been waiting to get back into the circle and prove herself.
Teams just hitting a $170 against her. We'll see how this LSU offense looks to attack her as Lassiter will lead things off, followed by Daniel, then Kylie Edwards. 1, 2, 3 in the order for head coach Beth Torina. And the LSU Tigers, who are now 32-15 overall, 9-10 in the SEC after last night's 5-3 loss. Meanwhile, Mississippi State 35-14, 7-12 in conference play. And we're underway as Gould just misses outside. Ball one to Jayla Lassiter. Gould making her 31st appearance, 22nd start in the circle this year. Fires that one past Lassiter. Big swing and a miss, and the count evens up 1-1.
Yeah, Lassiter saw that pitch out of her hand and thought she knew where it was going to go, and then that right to left break from her curveball from Paige Gould.
That catches the outside corner. Strike two. Kaylee Young is our umpire behind the plate today, with Ron Alexander at first and Chelsea Clark, the umpire who ejected Beth Torina, over at third. Swing and a miss. Gould gets off to a good start and strikes out one of LSU's best hitters.
We have a great crowd here tonight, and starting this game off with a strikeout to Jayla Lassiter, getting these fans on their feet. Not the curveball that time, goes down in the zone. It's a great two-strike pitch, as you see, just about every.
Hard hit ball off the bat of Sierra Daniel, who was hitless last night over. And she was ready to attack that one, but way out in front. Fouled it off to the right side. 0-1 the count. That ball misses upstairs. Count evens up on Daniel, a .319 hitter on the season for LSU. The Chandler, Arizona native steps up for the first time to face Paige Gould. Hits one hard towards the gap, drifting back and gone. A solo shot to get the scoring started in the first as LSU is on the board, thanks to a home run from Sierra Daniel, her first hit of the series.
What a big hit by Sierra Daniel. Coming into the season, Daniel had not hit a home run all in her career. This year she has. This will be her third one of the year. This pitch from Paige Gould just got way too much play, and you can see the balance of Sierra Daniel. Right on time, drives it over the right center field fence. What a start for LSU.
1-0. We saw LSU get out to a 1-0 start as well last night. That came in the third inning. LSU gets the scoring started as early as possible here in the top of the first. Bases are empty. Tigers 1, Dogs 0 as Kylie Edwards, the Mississippi State transfer, steps up for the first time today and fouls back a pitch. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, if you're someone like Paige Gould, who has had elite success your whole entire career, then coming over to the SEC, there's definitely a challenge with, getting hit really hard for the first time. And I think that's something that Paige has worked through. In the SEC, you're going to give up home runs. Let's just try and make sure they're solo shots and how quickly she can recover from that. She's in a great position here to respond back, but just learning how to have that short memory.
Hard hit ball, going to get through for a base hit. The first hit of the weekend for the Bulldog transfer, Kylie Edwards. She pulls one through to left field Runner on at first, one gone, already 1-0 for LSU, and they are seeing the ball well here in their first at bat.
They are. They're on time. They're balanced in the box. They're putting the barrel on the ball. Kylie Edwards doesn't try and do too much with the ball, just puts it through the 5-6 hole, passing back. Want to get a rally started, get that momentum early in the LSU dugout.
Franklin now steps up for the first time today for LSU. Takes one down and in, ball one. Alex Franklin, a Louisiana native, batting .276 on the season. 3 home runs. It's one high but foul and out of play off to the left side. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. You mentioned large crowd. We saw a couple of huge crowds earlier this season here at News Park when State hosted then #1 Tennessee. The crowd today is going to rival that, I think, in terms of the record attendance. We'll see how it all shakes out, but the crowd is still coming in. We mentioned at the very beginning, a big weekend here in Starkville. You had the Starkville Derby. We'll give you more information, more context for that later on. High fly ball, deep to left, should be caught though, and is by Bernardini. Flag at first, a long and loud out off the bat of Franklin.
And that's 3 consecutive barrels for LSU. Even though there's a fly out, she was just a little out in front and got under it, but Franklin's got to feel good about that at bat.
Bernardini in left, Richardson in center, Sells in right. That's the starting outfield today for Mississippi State, who comes in ranked 19th in the nation. There you see Richardson, number 2, a senior who was honored before the game began today. Bernardini also a senior. Kiara Sells also a senior. So a trio of seniors making their next to last appearance in a regular season game at Mississippi State today. At the dish for LSU, Tori Edwards, one of their more talented hitters. That ball just missed downstairs. 2 balls and a strike on the LSU slugger, hitting .282 on the year with 11 home runs. Off speed, in there for a strike. Runner on at first is Kylie Edwards. Tori Edwards is the batter. Swing and a miss. LSU gets the big home run, but a good job by Gould to limit the damage. The Bayou Bengals, a home run from Sierra Daniel, a no-doubter to the gap in right center. LSU on top 1-0 here in the first. 1-0 in the first here in Starkville. LSU on top as they give the ball to their starting pitcher, the junior righty, CC Salura, Glendale, California native, 6-foot-tall pitcher. What does she do well, Brittany?
She hammers the bottom of the zone. She has a really heavy drop ball that she can combat with a rise ball and a changeup, but she doesn't have a ton of strikeouts on the year. It's her drop ball, though, that induces ground balls to her defense, and her defense has been great all year long. So she's just looking to feed that. Really hard to square up somebody that can spin a drop ball like she does.
0.5 ERA on the year for Salura. 6-4 her record in the circle as she makes her 13th start today. And she'll face a Mississippi State lineup that got some unexpected power from the middle of the order, in particular Paige Ernstest, a big 3-run shot. They ended up being the difference in the ballgame last night.
And I think the best part for Mississippi State is when they scored those 3 runs, it was immediately after LSU scored their first runs of the game, and they had that answer in the bottom of the inning. That's exactly what they will try to do here.
Morgan Stiles, Nadia Barbary, Kiara Sells, a sophomore and a couple of seniors up to face Salura here in the home half of the first inning. 1-1 the count on Stiles. The sophomore shortstop, a .333 hitter on the season. And that misses. 2 balls and a strike as Salura faces her first Bulldog batter in front of a standing room only crowd here at News Park on what's turned out to be a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Nice glove by Hodge. Can the throw get there in time? No, and offline. So Hodge did about all she could right there, but couldn't quite get to her feet. And beating out the throw with an infield single is how I'm going to score that, is Morgan Stiles.
Yeah, this is a great play by Hodge at third base, but like you said, she just couldn't get that transfer to get that ball out of her glove. Stiles with just enough speed to put that pressure on the defense and lead off the game with a base hit.
Yeah, leadoff base runner for the Bulldogs, who did that quite often last night. There you see Hodge over at third base, a good defensive third baseman, but unable to make the play. Would have been a fantastic play had she made it. And it brings up the Bulldogs senior Nadia Barbary, one of 6 seniors in the starting lineup today for head coach Samantha Ricketts. Barbary, a veteran from Douglasville, Georgia, having a really good senior season offensively. Takes that one for a strike, and the count goes even.
And she's one of those players, a 4-year Bulldog, coming out on her senior day. Just had the development, right? Year after year, stuck through it, and now she is a major piece in this lineup.
Hits one up the middle, and it drops in for a base hit. Stopping at second is Stiles, back-to-back singles, and the Bulldogs have something brewing here in the home half of the first.
And what I like so far in the game, just 2 batters in, that you can see Mississippi State letting the ball that is too low go. They know Salura's go-to is the drop ball, but they're going to make her bring it up in the zone, and when she does, they are attacking. Good approach so far by the Bulldogs.
2 on, no one out. Here comes Kiara Sells. Yet another Bulldog senior. Steps in, bats from the right side, and takes strike 1. Good pitch from Salura to begin the at-bat.
And LSU did not want much to do with Sells last night. Really pitched around her first 2 at-bats, a hit by pitch, and an intentional walk. They're going to have to go at her in this situation.
And there's strike 2. Nicely done. In the hole quickly falls Kiara Sells. The junior right-hander, Salura, gets ready and delivers. An advanced one down and away. Not going to chase much of those, but you got to try, right?
Absolutely.
Sells has done a great job of Not swinging his stuff out of the strike zone. Should have swung at that one, though. That was a beautiful pitch right on the outside corner, and a strikeout earned by Solura.
And here's that heavy drop ball on the outer half of the plate. 1-2 count. Great location. Good job by Bergeron behind the plate to stick it and make it look any better. Good response after allowing the first 2 base runners to reach base.
Big strikeout for the Tigers. Paige Ernstes now steps up. She was the hero, one of the heroes last night. Had that big 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. The sophomore out of Indiana has had some offensive struggles on the season, but has seen the ball well lately. Hits one high, hits one towards the wall, and gone! She did it again! Back-to-back games with a 3-run home run from Paige Ernstes. Have yourself a weekend. And the Dogs have answered LSU immediately, and they're on top 3-1. A little deja vu.
I think we've seen this happen before. LSU jumps out to a 1-run lead. The very next inning, Paige Ernstes with 2 runners on. Look where that pitch is. That is not a bad pitch. Down and in, but Paige Ernstes drops the barrel, stays through it, and sends it out of here. Put a 3 spot up for Mississippi State. My goodness, Paige Ernstes.
Rewarding her coaching staff for putting her in that cleanup spot in the lineup. So each team has now hit a home run in their first at-bat today. Perhaps we won't see the same pitcher's duel we saw last night. Still a long way to go, but early on the offenses have brought the bats today. That catches the outside corner to Anna Carter, much to the home crowd's chagrin. 1-1 the count on the Bulldogs' senior lefty. Fouls one off for strike 2. One thing that's interesting about Solura, and you touched on it a little bit, Brittany, I mean, teams are hitting 300 on the year against her now after State's had some success today. So it's been, I mean, when you know she's starting, the ball is going to get put into play more often than not.
Right, and she understands that as a pitcher, too, that, you know, she's just looking to miss the middle of a barrel, let her defense play behind her. But if you're that kind of pitcher, you know, you've got to be pretty perfect, right? You can't let that drop ball elevate at all. But that pitch that Paige Ernstes hit out, you almost have to tip your cap to it because that was a really good location.
Up the middle, backhanded, no, not backhanded at second base. I'm not sure how they're going to score that. Either way, Carter reaches, and the Dogs have their 5th or their 4th different base runner of the ball game now.
I imagine that's a hit up the middle. Just the way scoring is nowadays, I think benefit goes to the hitter, but Anna Carter doing a nice job of keeping the momentum going.
They have at the moment put up an error on the scoreboard. We'll see
I
if
am
it
surprised. All right.
We'll see if it stays that way. It was going to be a difficult play for Daniel, but I thought she got there in time and just brought the glove up too soon.
If I was scoring, I would have put E4, but I was trying to read people's minds. I need to stop doing that.
It'll get you in trouble sometimes. A big swing and a miss there from Zion Romero, a sophomore right-handed hitter. California native from Lake Elsinore, California. Never been there, but it sounds nice.
I've been there. It is very nice.
Most towns that are named Lake something are usually pretty nice.
It's always nice when there's water around.
Did you play some ball there? Play some?
No, family.
Okay.
Family that, in-laws that lived out there.
That's going to be high. 3-1 the count. Runner at first. Still just 1 out. This has been a fairly lengthy home half of the first here, and a lot of pitches thrown. 22 already and counting here in the first for Solura. That's a nice pitch in there for a strike, and the count is now full.
And Cece Solura, transfer from San Diego State, very experienced pitcher. She had over 260 innings pitched at San Diego State, so she's been in tough situations before, very mature in the circle.
Hard hit ball deep to left. The Bulldogs have hit 2 dingers in the first inning. And they put a 5 spot on the scoreboard. This time it is Zion Romero. And the Bulldogs have opened it up to a 5-1 advantage in the first.
This Mississippi State team is wasting no time with their offense, getting the job done here in the bottom of the first inning. After the Paige Ernstess 3-run bomb, they continue to pour it on, and this time was Zion Romero gets a pitch that she can drive to the left center gap. I mean, perfect timing with her barrel, stays through it, just sneaks over the left field wall for a 2-run shot. Mississippi State leads 5-1 and still just 1 out.
Both home runs have been to left field. Both of them hit by righties, so they have jumped on that drop ball now twice and have pulled it out to left. It was a chopper to third, gloved by Hodge and thrown to first in time as Bernardini is retired quickly, but even she put the ball into play, and there are now 2 gone.
You know, I hate the what if it, but I think back to Morgan Stiles at bat with the great play by Hodge, but just couldn't come up with a throw to get things started this inning. She gets that leadoff out. We may be in a completely different situation here, but Mississippi State taking advantage of anything given to them.
That's the key right there. You know the other team at some point is going to give you a window to do something. Can you take advantage of it? And here in the early going, the Bulldogs have. They did last night as well. LSU didn't make very many mistakes, but when they did, the Bulldogs made them pay immediately.
Yeah, they scored on both of the mistakes made by LSU last night, and that's been something that Mississippi State hasn't been able to do in the past.
6 runs combined in the first inning today. Did not see that one coming.
No. You look at this series. I mean, LSU's offense definitely trending upwards coming into this series, but their offense isn't what this team's about. They're not the top offenses in the SEC. Thought we were going to have some more pitching duels, but you know it's late in the season. We've got a lot on the line here.
Hard hit ball, single to left. The Bulldogs right now peppering the ball to left field. That's a single for Des Rivera, the Bulldog catcher. We mentioned last night on the broadcast that magic number of 5. Usually State reaches that number when they do in the 5th or 6th or 7th inning. They reached it today in the first at bat.
Yeah, that's later in the game after a couple at bats off a pitcher. This time Mississippi State has a plan and they're sticking to it off of CC Salora. And you could just see after Richardson's swing there, just the nod, the confidence that we're seeing from these hitters. Not something that we've seen most of this season. It's been an uphill battle for them, but the confidence and just their aura in the box just seems different.
Richardson, her first plate appearance of the ball game, getting a start on senior day. Not an everyday starter, but certainly someone who has seen her role
How about that?
increased in this her senior year. That is incredible. Your runner at first base, Des Rivera, still has not struck out the entire season.
That's incredible. I think as of yesterday, she was alongside 2 other players that hadn't struck out, and she has the most plate appearance out of all of them.
You know, one of the things that Richardson pops it up. This might do it. I'll finish that thought next inning. Fly ball to left, caught by Harris, but Mississippi State scores 5 runs on 5 hits. All the runs coming home on a couple of home runs, one from Ernstess, the other from Romero, and the Dogs are seizing control early. Fireworks in the first inning, 5-1. Mississippi State leading LSU heading to inning number 2. And what we saw in the first inning, a little bit rare. It's usually been LSU outscoring their opponents in the first couple of innings by a wide margin.
Yeah, we're still in the first couple innings, though.
True.
Don't think LSU is going to take their foot off the gas here, but Mississippi State, we don't see them scoring a crooked number early in the game.
3 home runs. In fact, all 6 runs combined in the first came via the long ball. Solo home run for LSU. It's Sierra Daniel, and then a couple of home runs for State. A 3-run home run from Ernstis, her second of the weekend. And then a 2-run shot from Zion Romero. And none of the home run hitters, as Macy Badger things off for LSU here in the second, none of the home run hitters in the ball game today, a ton of home runs over the course of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely been, when everybody else in the country seems to be hitting home runs, there's been a drop-off for a couple of these players in the LSU lineup, Bergeron being one of them, but she is still a feared hitter when she steps in the box.
Batting .218 on the year, pops it up foul. Couple of foul balls, that one will land in the stands, and the count's even at 2-2. It is wall-to-wall people here at News Park.
And babies, look at that little one.
They had to, and the ball headed their direction, so had to keep the kids safe, don't spill the drinks, and avoid getting hit by the foul ball. That's a ground ball out to the second baseman, and easy routine play there, and Bergeron's retired 4-3 as Romero gets the put out. Romero at second, Stiles at short, Ernstis at first, Barbary at third. That's the Bulldog infield today with Rivera behind the plate and Peja Gould in the circle. In there for a strike as she faces Allie Hutchins. The Kentucky transfer, batting .219 in this, her junior season. Swing and a miss. Some late movement there.
That's the curveball that we've seen from Peja Gould that she's looking to find again. We've seen a couple of them this game. That's one of them. Now trying to find that consistency with that pitch.
The 0-2. Not totally wasted. That was close enough that maybe a more inexperienced hitter might have chased, but Hutchins, the veteran, laid off of it. Counts 1-2. That's outside. Count evens up. .125 1/3 innings thrown this year by Gould. Has given up just 77 hits in that time. Swing and a miss. Going down on strike swinging is Allie Hutchins, and there are 2 gone with no one on as the 9-hole hitter Hodge will step up.
And this pitch was set up so nicely from the previous 4 curveballs in a row. The last one way out of the zone, then comes in on the hands. You know, sometimes you think about the next pitch. Don't really want them on that exact pitch, but you know you're going to get them on the next one.
I'm one batter ahead. I said Hodge is coming up. Don't want to forget about
She's
Harris.
right there on deck.
Hodge on deck, but it's Destiny Harris, who did not play in the ball game last night for LSU, getting a start today in place of Char Lorenz. And Harris does bring just a little bit of a different skill set offensively to the plate for LSU than does Lorenz. But she's behind in the count fast, 0-2. Batting .282 on the year. Swing and a miss on 3 pitches. Gould strikes out Harris. Gould retires the Tigers in order in the top of the second. Mississippi State maintains a 4-run advantage. These are the sights and the sounds of what was going on in Starkville, Mississippi earlier today. The Starkville Derby, they call it. It is, I think rather unofficially, but who knows for sure, the world's largest wiener dog race. We're talking dachshunds, people.
It's awesome.
It is fantastic, right? It's such a unique, fun event. And it draws tens of thousands of people to downtown Starkville, the area they call the Cotton District, the area of town that connects downtown to the campus. And immediately, Morgan Style is trying to get on base again, hits one hard, but right at Franklin in right field.
That was a good recovery by Alex Franklin in right field. This time of day, right field really struggles with the sun, so I think she lost it for a second off the bat, was able to recover and track it down. Something to keep an eye on is right field this time of day.
Salura back in the circle for her second inning of work. She was hit hard by the Bulldogs in the first. 5 hits, including 2 home runs, as State plated 5 in their first at bat, and now it's the top of the order all over again. Styles flew out. Now Barbary at the plate. Takes that one high for a ball. 2-0.
And I think if we learned anything from last night's game is that LSU's not going to give in. You go to that 7th inning, they loaded the bases, scored a run. I mean, they had every opportunity to take a lead there till the very last out. So I don't think any amount of lead this early in the game State feels comfortable with. Looking to add more, get more runners on base, put the pressure on LSU.
The way the ball's flying off the bats today, don't think any lead is going to be safe. That's in there for a strike. Nicely done. As you would imagine, Barbary taking all the way. Now the count's 3-1 on the Bulldogs senior. Now batting .340 on the year after getting a single and scoring in the first. Hits one right at the second baseman, Daniel. A couple of hard hit balls to the right side, but LSU defensively is there with the glove on each occurrence, and there are 2 gone.
Isn't it a funny game? You can hit the ball as hard as you could, but right at somebody is Nadia Barbary right there with that line out. First inning, we saw a couple balls get in and drop for base hits that weren't hit nearly as hard.
Kiara Sells steps up. She hits one to the right side, and it will be Franklin comes in and grabs 3 straight. Either fouls to the right side and a really good second inning for CC Salura. A large crowd on hand here at News Park as we head to the top of the third between LSU and Mississippi State. A couple of top 20 teams. We got fans standing all over the outfield fence and up on the concourse. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in Starkville, Mississippi. Part of Super Bulldog Weekend, which serves as the annual homecoming event in the spring semester here at Mississippi State University. These same universities also playing each other in baseball here in Starkville this weekend. Mississippi State and LSU. They went into 11 innings last night, and Kevin Maluski hit a 2-run walk-off home run to win it for the Bulldogs. Avery Hodge leads things off for LSU in the third. The slapper takes that one for a strike, and the count evens up 1-1. Richmond, Texas senior Avery Hodge batting just 188. Going to be a tough play. Yeah, cannot get that throw there in time. Kind of stuck in the glove of Barbary, and safe at first. That's slap hitting 101 right there. Go the opposite way, beat the throw to first base.
Yeah, great reflexes at third base by Barbary as well, but again, just couldn't get a grip on it. Even if she does, I think the speed of Hodge beats her out. Now a lot of speed at first base and the top of the lineup coming up.
Great opportunity for LSU to eat into this state lead. Lassiter, Daniel, and Edwards all stepping up, barring a double play. Ball one to Jayla Lassiter, who struck out swinging her first time up against Gould. One of 4 Ks recorded by the Bulldogs starting pitcher. Shank swing but went around. Tried to check it and couldn't. 1-1 the count. Well, we saw a really long first inning, and then we saw a super short second inning.
Long top of this inning, getting for your top of your lineup up. The top of the lineup really does the damage for LSU, so having them come up with no outs and a runner on sets them up in a good spot.
LSU now with 3 hits in the ball game. 2 of those 3 from the top third of the lineup, as Daniel and Kylie Edwards have recorded a couple of hits. Combined, the other hit was the infield single from Hodge that just happened. Barbary going to second, gets the lead runner. Nice job by Nadia Barbary. The ball took her that way anyway, but a big out for State. And that'll bring up Sierra Daniel, who her last time up did this. A no-doubt home run to right center to put LSU on top 1-0. Lead didn't last long, but a really good swing from Sierra Daniel, her first hit of the series.
Yeah, Daniel, her 5th career home run, and has really increased her power each year. Her freshman year, she didn't have a home run, just 2 last year, and now her 5th one in the first inning of this game.
It has been remarkable, to me at least, that the home runs hit so far this weekend have almost all come from unlikely home run hitters, including Sierra Daniel. She falls behind 0-2 against Gould. 1 on, 1 gone. Lassiter reached on a fielder's choice and is standing at first base. Change up in there for a strike. Beautifully done by Gould. That'll be strikeout number 5, and she retires Daniel for the first time today.
But Peja Gould, her curveball, her go-to pitch, hasn't been as effective, as sharp as she wants, so she's going deep in that toolbox now, using the changeup, saw the screwball, showing that she's a versatile pitcher and has more weapons than one. That's huge.
Runner on at first is Lassiter. There are 2 outs now for Kylie Edwards. That ball taken high and outside, ball 1. Edwards had a single her first time up in the first. One of the 3 LSU hits so far on the afternoon. That just misses downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Edwards played her first 2 seasons collegiately in Starkville for Samantha Ricketts at Mississippi State, now having a really good junior campaign in her first season in Baton Rouge, as that ball also misses the strike zone. Now the count's 3-0.
And if you're a pitcher that relies on spin and you feel a little bit of pressure, sometimes you'll try and speed things up, trying to throw the ball harder, and you can throw through your spin there. And Peja Gould is most effective when she's focusing on the spin, not the velocity. I think maybe right now kind of throwing through that spin.
A 4-pitch walk, and Edwards is on for the second time today. Lassiter moves over in his scoring position. Timeout called. As Gould tries to recalibrate, just needs one more out to get out of this inning, but LSU a base hit away from getting back to within 3 runs. AC Lassiter at second. Kylie Edwards at first. Alex Franklin stepping up to the plate. Franklin flew out deep to left her first time up. That's in there for strike 1. LSU's got some pretty good speed on the bases. So an extra base hit might score a couple of runs.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs, moving on contact.
1-1 the count now on Franklin, who is batting on the year .273. 0 for 1 today. Fouls that one back for strike 2. That ball down and in on the hands, and she just kind of golf balled it right off her foot. Hard hit ball, going to get through for a base hit. Rounding third is Lassiter. The throw comes home, it's cut off, and LSU is on the board again. They have cut the state lead down to 3. It's 5-2 thanks to a 2-out RBI base hit from Franklin.
Not much activity last night with runners on and 2 outs for LSU. This one just gets enough of it. Does Franklin not hit hard enough for Richardson to have a play at the plate? Good job by Paige Urgest to cut that off and prevent an extra 60 feet there, but LSU just chipping away.
Their second time through the order seeing Gould, and they're having some success. Now the 5-hole hitter, Tori Edwards, steps up. She struck out swinging her first time up against Gould. The 1-0. That's in there for a strike, and the count evens up.
And that's her curveball. That's the backdoor curveball. It starts at the hitter's hips and then breaks back over the plate.
That time she came in with a high velocity drop ball in on the hands, swing and a miss, strike 2. It's a warm day today. You see Gould having to wipe the sweat off a lot. That ball bounces to the plate, dug nicely out of there by Rivera, the backstop. The count's 2-2. LSU only 1 hit with runners on base and 2 outs. Last night, they got 1 in this inning, scoring Lassiter, but they cannot get another as Tori Edwards goes down swinging for the second time. Mississippi State leads 5-2. between innings. How about this for a thrill? The sack race. I thought Visor Girl had it down until she lost the sack.
I liked her technique.
She couldn't
was
recover
doing,
in time.
Like broad jumps. So the next time you do a sack race, no, not the little ones, not bunny hops,
right.
broad jumps.
Just got to have a tight grip on the top of the sack so you can make sure you make it to the finish
Yes. Now we know.
The youngsters having a good time here between innings. The fans, the ones wearing maroon and white at least, having a good time so far through 2.5 innings. They've seen the Bulldogs jump out to a 5-2 lead over 15th ranked LSU. LSU, though, a nice 2-out hit from Franklin to drive in Lassiter to get on the board again to make it a little tighter here as we head to the 3rd inning. And immediately, Paige Ernstis, who had a big 3-run home run in the 1st inning, will take a swing at the first pitch and line it out to the shortstop, Kylie Edwards.
In the bottom of the 2nd, last inning, Mississippi State went 3 up, 3 down, and 2 of those outs were first pitch swingings. I think what Mississippi State did well in the 1st inning is they were patient at the plate, made Salora bring that drop ball up and go after the pitch they wanted, even if they had to see a strike. I think they've bailed Salora out, especially after that long 1st inning, giving up the 5 spot, coming out and swinging early in counts. And to me, that's just a little bit of lack of focus, just free swinging instead of sticking to a plan and seeing a pitch.
High pop out. That'll be caught in left by Harris, and quickly there are 2 gone here in the Bulldog 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Zion Romero. Her last time up had a 2-run home run.
He just added to the lead, got a pitch elevated. That drop ball was patient in that at bat. 3-1 count, saw a good pitch, forced Salora to bring that ball up and took advantage of it for a 2-run shot.
The 4th homer of the year for the sophomore Romero. The Bulldog second baseman takes the first pitch for a strike on the inside corner. Mississippi State 5 runs on 5 hits. LSU 2 runs on 4 hits. 1 error committed by LSU. No errors committed yet by Mississippi State. Left on base. That's already been an issue for LSU on the weekend. They've left 3 on base today. Left double digits on base, I think, last night. That's in there for a strike.
See Tyler Bratton coming to kind of slow things down. In recognition of last inning went by really quickly. This one on the way going pretty quickly as well. But if I'm a hitter, I'm not sure if I would want a timeout with a 1-2 count, but maybe coach might know a little bit better than I would. But
longtime associate head coach there, Tyler Bratton. Mr. Coach T-Brat.
T-Brat.
Hits one towards the gap, drops in for a base hit. Nice job to grab it on the hop in left by Harris to keep it to a single, but whatever Coach Bratton said to Romero, it worked. She's on base yet again. Multiple hit game for the Bulldogs second baseman.
And she just muscled there. It was in on the hands, but you mentioned it. Harris does a nice job. I don't dive because that ball right at her, it gets past her, gets to the wall. But the outfielders for LSU, they are known to be spectacular athletes.
Runner on at first is Romero. Bernardini is the batter. There are 2 gone. The Bulldogs on top 5-2. I mentioned a moment ago LSU double digits in left on base last night. I stand corrected. It was 9. 9
Close.
left on base.
Very close.
So I apologize. I was a little ahead of myself there. It's a foul tip off the underside of the bat. Nipped the catcher Bajeron a little bit.
Bajeron returned yesterday to the lineup after missing 4 games with an injury. And those foul tips right on the thigh, I've suffered through many of those. Now it's starting to burn, man. I don't miss that.
So do you stop moving or do you keep moving? What do you... What does it matter?
Sometimes you can't do anything. You're just waiting for it to go away. It just clips the bat. Those are the worst when it barely gets the bat.
You see the smile. There you go.
Yeah. Here we go.
She'll be okay.
Yeah, it was nice to see her back in the lineup yesterday, too, for LSU after missing that time. Hurt at a play at the plate against Arizona. Tried to stay in the game. I think she stayed in the game for another batter or two before she had to eventually leave, but back in the lineup and behind the plate.
Such a good defensive catcher, the veteran presence back there for LSU. Nothing in two the count right now on Bernardini, and that's off the knob of the bat. Rise ball up and in. The count remains the same. We'll do it again with a runner on at first and 2 gone. Salura gets the call, strike 3. Boy, she has really recovered well and has pitched it well in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Her Tigers, though, still trail by 3 as we head to the 4th.
Underway.
Rushes one. Smash this to the bat. And the drama continues.
The SEC softball tournament coming your way May 5th through the 9th. These two teams fighting for seeding at the moment. They are in, depending on what else is happening today, either in 9th and 10th or 10th and 11th or 8th and 9th. There's a lot of moving parts right now in the middle of the SEC. Regardless, though, of what the seeding ends up being, that'll be a really fun tournament to watch. Those 15 teams in action are all really fun and exciting, and so many good players on the field. Oh, that ball just misses. Gould just lost control of it.
Yeah, that just fell out of her hand.
Nothing Bergeron could do to get out of the way of that one. And that'll be a leadoff hit by pitch, and LSU has the leadoff hitter on with the bottom 3 in the order. Hutchins, Harris, and Hodge coming up. Hutchins 0 for 1 today, struck out her first time up. Checked her swing and took it down and in for a ball.
I think everybody, even the scoreboard operator, thought that was going to be a strike. Just missing.
Kaylee Young said it just missed a little too far to the inside and off the plate. Gould comes back, though, and gets the strike call on the other side of the plate against the right-handed hitter Hutchins, and the count evens up at 1-1. The junior batting .216 on the year, fouls that one back, strike 2. LSU trailing, but it does seem like slowly momentum is shifting over into that first base dugout.
It really does, because they're having long at bats. They're getting runners on every half inning. They're making noise with their bats every time they come up to the plate.
That ball bounces away from Rivera. Advancing to second, no throw is going to be Bajaran. And now LSU's got a runner on in scoring position with no one out. Five to 2, Mississippi State on top. The Bulldogs scored all 5 of the runs so far in the first inning. That ball is a swing and a miss. Change of speeds there from Gould. And that'll be strikeout number 7 as Hutchins goes down swinging for the second time today.
We talk about the elite spin. Here it is right there. You see that late break movement. Hutchins thinks she sees it all the way, then it just disappears off the end of her bat.
And it brings up Destiny Harris. She struck out quickly her first time up against Gould and takes strike 1. Three and a third innings thrown by Gould today. So far, a couple of earned runs on 4 hits as Harris swings and misses. Harris has now seen 5 pitches in the ballgame. All 5 of them strikes.
And she's taking her hacks too, getting in the lineup. She's not getting cheated. Just needs a little bit more discipline, but finds herself in a tough spot.
Just missed off the outside corner. Boy, Gould wanted it.
But I really like that pitch. When we've seen Gould 0-2, 1-2, she's missing non-competitive pitch. That's a very competitive pitch.
Swing and a miss, back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff hitter reached, and there are now 2 gone. Strikeout number 8 today for Gould. 11 outs recorded today by the Bulldogs. 8 of them have come via strikeout. Avery Hodge at the plate. The number 9 hitter in the lineup, the slapper, draws the Bulldog infield in, especially on that left side. The count's a ball and a strike.
Infield's in, outfield's in, ton of speed at the plate.
Center fielder Richardson shaded to our left, her right, and there's strike 2. Six Bulldogs who are seniors in the starting lineup today. Correction, all 7 in the lineup. Strike 3. Hodge looks at it. Back-to-back-to-back Ks. After the leadoff hit by pitch, Gould has already struck out 9, and the Dogs are on top by 3. A lot of offense and home runs in our ball game today, which underscores the national storyline of really good offense, both team and individual, across the country this season.
There's some things that you never thought you would see. This is one of them. What Kendall Wells is doing is with 36 home runs. She's a freshman. Freshman.
A teenager.
Yes, right out of high school. Imagine what she's going against those high school pitchers. But she's one shy of Laura Espinoza from Arizona's 37, set back in 1995, and the Megan Grant and Woolery, the Bash sisters out at UCLA, and then what Issa Torres is doing at the plate. I mean, if you like offense, this is, and you haven't been watching softball before this season, pretty sure you're an instant fan.
What's it Oklahoma City?
Oh my gosh.
This year.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna be one of the most competitive series, and I think we say that every year, but the play and the parity keeps increasing in our sport.
Backhanded by Edwards at short, and Rivera is thrown out at first base, 6-3. And there is one gone here in the home half of the fourth inning. Mississippi State 5, LSU 2.
You mentioned about the Women's College World Series. Have been asked multiple times, like, who is going to be there? And usually have a clear idea, but not this year. You can see 11 losses by number one ranked teams this season, the second most of ever before. And it just tells you that they're loaded at the top. Anybody can truly beat anybody at any time, and it's not good to be number one, I don't think.
Would you rather be the number one team going into the postseason, or be like a top 10 team that's peaking at the right moment but doesn't have that same pressure of being ranked in the top 5?
Yeah, I think if you're peaking at the right moment, the way we have to play this game, as long as this season is, you're going to have your peaks and valleys, but if you're peaking at the end, that's exactly where you want to be.
No one on and one gone for Abby Grace Richardson, the senior from Brookhaven, Mississippi. A former JUCO All-American. In her second and final season in Starkville, 0 for 1 today. Hits one into right, should be caught. Fighting off the sun is Franklin. She makes the grab, and there are 2 gone.
Cece Solora has really settled in after that first inning. I think Mississippi State helped her out a little bit, being a little over-aggressive, but now she's just hammering the bottom half of the zone, changing levels, going with that rise ball. She has definitely found her footing here as the game has progressed.
Through 3 1/3, Solora has allowed 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 unearned on 6 hits. No walks, 2 strikeouts. All of those runs and all but 1 of those hits, though, came back in the Bulldogs' first inning. Just 1 hit since then. Down and in against Morgan Stiles. Top of the order, due up for State. Stiles, if she reaches, Barbary standing in the on-deck circle. State trying to expand on the lead.
And they need to. We've seen LSU today. They're getting runners on every inning. Last night in the 7th inning, down a few runs, they came back, loaded the bases. They were 1 swing away from a different kind of ball game. The Tigers are going to fight, and they're seeing the ball well and putting the ball in play.
That's in there for a strike. 2-2 the count on Stiles, who is 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit and scored a run in the first, and then flew out to right her last time up in the second. Checks a swing and takes it outside. Count is full. Stiles gets that timing down, takes it inside. Quality at bat there with 2 outs by the sophomore Stiles, and she's on at first. And if you're LSU, that's the dreaded 2-out walk that you never want to see with the top of the order up there.
Yeah, I think Solora was just trying to be a little too careful with the top of the lineup, and Morgan Stiles just missing on those last 2 pitches. But on the other side, great discipline by Stiles to pass the bat back to Nadia Barbary.
Barbary 1 for 2 today. Just like Stiles, had a single and scored a run in the first. Her last time up, she lined out to Daniel at second base. Hitting .338 on the year. Takes it upstairs for a ball, 2-0. Styles, Barbary, and Sells, the top three in the lineup in the batting order, all making their 50th starts of the season. They have started every game this year for the Bulldogs.
Having consistency is huge in this game because just like teams will have peaks and valleys, sometimes your hitting will do that too, and the only way to really get out of it is have that consistency in the box and swing your way out of it.
That catches the outside corner, and the count's 2-2. Styles on at first, 2 gone. Solura trying to get through her third consecutive scoreless frame after giving up 5 in the first. High fly ball, fairly deep to left at the wall, but the wind holds it up, and making the grab in fair territory near the pole is Harris, and that will end the 4th inning. Mississippi State strands 1. They lead 5-2. We head to the 5th inning in Starkville. Mississippi State leading LSU in this SEC Top 20 showdown, 5-2. Speaking of the SEC, as usual, Brittany, the SEC has been the class in terms of conferences in college softball this year. It's talented, it's deep, and there are a handful of teams who are legit national title contenders.
Certainly are, and every weekend in SEC play is a grind for that reason. You see 11 of the top 25 ranked teams are come from the SEC. I mean, you can't take a weekend off, and we saw that log jam that Mississippi State and LSU are working through in terms of seeding and standings in the SEC. It's because these teams really grind it out every weekend. You don't know the outcome because they're just all so good.
And what's going to be really intriguing to see, speaking of postseason and resume, I think there's probably 7 SEC teams that are really good about hosting right now. And then you got Mississippi State also in the mix. Could we see a situation where that ball just missed? Not sure where it missed, but could there be half of the 16 host sites are from the SEC?
I think that's a very reasonable expectation. I think Mississippi State and LSU, depending on what happens this weekend, could be fighting for that 8th SEC hosting spot moving forward. LSU has Auburn, who's in the bottom third of the SEC. Ole Miss is going to welcome Mississippi State, bottom half of the SEC, so they have opportunities for wins moving forward, but this series is so important for these teams in terms of postseason.
And this right here is a very important inning for both teams. LSU has the top of the order due up. Lassiter goes down swinging on a ball that was blown right past her, in on the hands, and that'll be for Peja Gould, strikeout number 10.
Tasia Gould is looking a lot different than she did that first inning. She's confident. She's throwing the ball where she wants it. And even after that pitch that was not called a strike, that I think everybody around here thought was a strike, she moved on and came right back. You love to see that maturity from a pitcher.
Sierra Daniel already has 1 home run today, and she was aggressively swinging at that first offering from Gould. Fouls it back to the right side, out of play. 1 for 2 today with a home run. She has had a really good season offensively. The junior came in batting .319, now batting .321. 3 home runs on the season, 28 runs driven in. Shows bunt, brings back the bat, takes it downstairs for a ball, and the count evens up. Small ball, not really a thing that either of these two teams do a ton of, as that ball is in there for a strike. Kylie Edwards awaits in the on-deck circle. That ball is spoiled down towards the first base side. Foul. Nice fight-off swing, defensive swing from Daniel, who's been kind of out in front of almost everything this at-bat so far.
Yeah, I think she's seeing the ball well. Her timing's just off. And if you're a pitcher, you recognize that.
Trying to go to the outside that time was Gould, and it misses, and the count has evened up at 2. Gould has now thrown over 80 pitches in the ball game.
Yeah, LSU, we've talked about, they have great discipline at the plate. They don't make anything easy on a pitcher.
That's going to be downstairs. Good take by Daniel, counts full. Four hits for LSU in the ball game, 6 for Mississippi State. Pop up on the infield, right side, calling for it in foul territory is Ernstes, and she makes the grab for out number 2.
See Ernstes here had some trouble with the first base bag last night on a foul ball, but this time a little hop, skip, and a jump over the base to make sure she clears it.
Nicely done by the Bulldog first baseman. And it brings up now Kylie Edwards. Of course, one of the main storylines so far through this series has been the return to Starkville, a former Bulldog infielder and now current LSU shortstop, Kylie Edwards.
And she's probably the hottest hitter in this lineup right now. I mean, the second half of the season has been in Kylie's Edwards' wheelhouse. Very difficult to get out. She's getting on base a ton. Already been on base once this game with a walk. Was on base 3 times last night, couple hit by pitches.
And she has been in SEC games only, by far LSU's best hitter. Hits one right at Barbary, who cannot glove it. Throw to first, will not be in time. Good hustle by Edwards. Barbary just could not keep it in the glove, almost knocked it down versus catching it on a hot shot, and Edwards is on base again.
Yeah, she was there. She had it all the way. But Edwards' speed keeps running it out. Tough luck for Barbary. I think it just caught that heel. Ball came off so hard, it's hard to be in the perfect position. But again, LSU, another inning, another base runner.
An infield single for Edwards, who is now 2 for 2. That ball gets away from Rivera. Edwards ends up at second base. LSU, once again, just trying to get inching closer and closer to Mississippi State. They trail by 3, but a base hit right here would make it a 2-run game, as time is called by the Bulldogs.
And Alex Franklin with a base hit, her last at bat, already has an RBI. So Peja Gould, temperature-wise, it's pretty nice out here, but that humidity from all the storms coming in. You hear the crowd really getting into it. After the first inning, Mississippi State hasn't really given this crowd much to cheer about, trying to pump up their pitcher.
The Dogs jumped out to a 5-1 lead in the first, and then it became a pitcher's duel since then.
More of what we were expecting, right?
Alex Franklin, a tall right-hander, steps in for LSU. Edwards on his second. Ground ball to second base. Throw to first in time. Romero gets the out 4-3, and Gould and the Bulldogs get out of the inning. LSU strands another runner, and the Dogs maintain a 3-run lead. In Stark Vegas on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. 19th ranked Mississippi State leading 15th ranked LSU 5-1. We've got a capacity crowd and then some. Got the grills going out in the outfield. Plenty of sunshine. It's turned into a great day for softball, a great crowd, and so far a good game. Fireworks early, and then the pitching staffs on both sides have settled in since then.
They really have, and I think CC Salora has settled in really well after a 5-run first inning. She's come back, hammered the zone, got ahead of hitters. The first inning, it just felt like that drop ball was kind of left up in the zone. Since then, she's been right at the knees and adjusting levels with her rise ball, throwing a great mix since.
It'll be Sells, Ernstes, and Carter, 3, 4, and 5 in the Bulldog order, up to face Salura here in the home half of the 5th inning. We've had the 5th inning stretch, and now we're hitting the home stretch of this one, with the Dogs having the advantage. Pop up, foul territory, and it will land on top of the press box roof. 0-2 the count on Kiara Sells, who was 0 for 2 today. There's our perch here at News Park. Nicely done by Salura.
And that's exactly what she did to Kiara Sells in her first at bat. Got ahead 0-2, then went to that drop ball on the outside corner, and Sells looks at it again.
One gone, no one on, as Ernstes will step up. She had a 3-run home run her first time up, her second 3-run home run of the weekend. That came in the first inning. She lined out to Edwards at short her last time up. That came in the third. 2 pitches missing, 2 balls, no strikes. Wouldn't be surprised here if Salura is a little bit careful with Ernstes.
LSU's done a great job against Kiara Sells, and she's been that name you circle in the Mississippi State lineup, not to let that person beat you. But Paige Ernstess right behind her has done a great job stepping up and filling the shoes when Kiara Sells has pitched around yesterday, and then not having her best at bats today. Ernstess has been locked in.
After a foul tip, counts 2 balls and a strike with Carter in the on-deck circle. Rise ball taken high, and the count is now 3-1. Hitters count for Paige Ernstess, who has driven in 6 runs through the first 2 games. Ground ball, chopper over to third. Hodge throws to first in time. Hodge to Edwards, and the out is recorded, and there are 2 gone here in the home half of the 5th.
And since that first inning, Salora just giving up the 1 hit back in the bottom of the 3rd. Locked in.
And still has only thrown 76 pitches. And she threw almost 30 in the first inning.
Yep.
Carter takes strike 1. The Bulldogs jumped on her early. She's made a few adjustments, and State's not been able to do much with her since then. Of course, the flip side is LSU offensively hasn't done much against Bulldog starter Paige Gould either.
No, they haven't. I think Gould's locked in as well, but LSU at least getting base runners on. They're putting a little bit of pressure, but Gould's been able to find a way out of it, either a strikeout or defense coming up behind her.
Down and in, that's a ball. 2 balls and a strike to count now on Carter, who is 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error. Got the ball put into play up the middle, and reached when it could not be fielded cleanly by Daniel at second base. She then scored on Romero's 2-run home run. That was the last RBI for the Bulldogs. That was a Romero 2-run home run in the first. State's not scored since. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count. Well, hitters count, and she was ready to hit one, just couldn't make contact.
That was a big cut. Love to see it. 3-1.
Carter's last time up flew out to left field. Hits one off the glove of Edwards. Safe at first is Carter. That is the 2nd time today she's hit the ball hard on the infield dirt. And that'll be a 2-out base runner for Mississippi State.
And as a hitter, that's all you want to do is just hit the ball hard. And Anna Carter does that there. Hits off the heel of Kylie Edwards at shortstop, off the heel of her glove.
And now coming in to run for the Bulldogs will be Kaylani Sells, number 42, a sophomore.
Number 42, Kaylani Sells.
So State will get some speed on at first.
Now batting second baseman, number 83, Zion Romero.
And that'll be a single. So give Carter credit for a base hit. She's now 1 for 3 in the ball game. Zion Romero had a home run back in the first and a single her last time up in the 3rd. She has been a difficult out today for Salura and the LSU Tigers. 2 for 2. She continues to creep that batting average up above 200. So a lot going on right here this weekend, but big picture, if Mississippi State can get players like Ernstess and Romero to have consistent quality at bats, that makes them a really dangerous team in the postseason, does it not?
Yeah, having production 1 through 9 is huge because pitchers won't be able to just pitch around a couple hitters. They'll be protected. And one of the things that Mississippi State has struggled with is runners in scoring position, runners on base, getting those timely hits then. And more often than not, that's the bottom half of the lineup coming through.
Down and away. Ball to Romero. Count even 2-2 with Kaylani Sells, the pinch runner at first base. State trying to expand that lead and get some insurance runs heading into LSU's final 2 at-bats. Check swing, doesn't matter. Ball was in there for a call to strike 3. So a strikeout of Romero. She's retired for the first time today. Dogs remain on top 5-2.
So let's see how we got here. Back in the first inning is where all the magic happened. Sierra Daniel with a solo shot to start things off. Then immediately in the bottom half of the first, Paige Ernstess with a 3-run home run. Ziane Romero just a couple batters later with a 2-run shot herself. But Peja Gould, after that first inning, has settled in, has gotten a double-digit strikeouts, 10 on the day. As we move into the 6th inning, Peja Gould has gotten sharper as we move along. But LSU, we know they are fighters in the box.
It'll be for LSU. Edwards leading things off. A flare to left, and it drops in for a base hit. The Bulldogs have Bernardini playing deep in left. Just couldn't quite get into that one fast enough as the wind died, and that ball died as well. So a leadoff single for LSU, and now they've got the tying run in the on-deck circle here in inning number 6.
Yeah, getting base runners on is what LSU needs to do. Not a huge home run hitting team, and more of getting runners on and getting base hits.
The Bulldogs have made a couple of defensive changes. Let's see if we can get those to you. Kaylani Sells, who ran as a pinch runner last half inning, stays in and plays in center field. Abby Grace Richardson, there on your screen, moves from the outfield to first base. Kenley Keller is now in right field, replacing Kiara Sales. Thank you. And then Ernstis is now the DP, I would assume.
Yes, not taking her out of the lineup. We saw Keller last night getting the start in center field, now coming in to right field.
So some defensive changes by Samantha Ricketts and company here, as LSU is down to their final 6 outs. So there's a strike delivered to Macy Bajaron, the LSU catcher. Count is now 3-1. With Tori Edwards already on at first and no one out. And that ball misses inside. So a 5-pitch walk issued to Bajaron. And LSU now has the tying run at the plate. And timeout call. Looks like LSU will use a pinch hitter. Or runner. There we go. Thank you. New runner coming in. Hutchins will be the hitter. And coming in to run at first base for the Tigers is number 28, Jada Phillips, a sophomore. So Phillips at first, Edwards at second. And Allie Hutchins at the dish. Big moment right here for both teams. In the 6th inning with no one out And 2 on for LSU, and the Bulldogs on top by 3. Hutchins 0 for 2. Has gone down swinging at strike 3 twice in the ball game. Try to check the swing and went around, and she is quickly in the hole, 0-2. Boy, Gould has been incredibly effective against Hutchins today.
She has. She got her once on a rise ball, once on a curve ball, the drop ball with the check swing there. So what she goes to here, 0-2.
Just missed below the knees. 1-2 the count as Gould is now at pitch 100.
Good discipline again. I think we've said it a couple times today already that LSU is a very disciplined team. Work a lot of walks, have a great eye up there.
Ball outside. Count evens up 2-2. Harris and Hodge are the next 2 batters due up, although it looks like LSU might have a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle in Maddox McKee. That misses. Now the count's full. The last thing Gould wants to do is allow Hutchins to reach after getting out in front of her, 0-2.
Yeah, this is 7, 8, 9 in the lineup. You have to go right at these hitters.
The payoff. High fly ball should be caught in left. Bernardini underneath it and catches it barely in fair territory for a big out number 1 if you're the Bulldogs.
It is. It really is. That could have gone in a put Mississippi State in a difficult situation with a walk or allowing Hutchins to reach base. Bases loaded, no outs, but now getting that first out. Don't breathe much easier. Have some business to take care of here.
The crowd really getting into it now. State's dugout leading the cheers of maroon and white as LSU calls timeout to make sure that the umpires are aware that Maddox McKee rather, will be the brand new hitter, a pinch hitter for LSU. Number 2, McKee, a junior who bats left. Montgomery, Texas is the native hometown. Strike delivered by Gould.
I think the crowd, everybody knows how important this moment is, especially with the bats from Mississippi State going silent basically since the first inning. Not allowing a run, getting out of this jam. They understand the importance.
Off speed, in there for a strike. McKee badly, 0-2 the count. McKee on the year, a .212 hitter. A righty on lefty matchup here as that ball's wasted down and away. Nice block up job behind the plate by Rivera. Counts 1-2. 33 at-bats on the year for McKee, 7 base hits. Upstairs, count evens up 2-2. Hodge is due up next for LSU unless they go with another pinch hitter. And then you have the top of the order. Swing and a miss. Huge strikeout for Peja Gould. McKee is a pinch hitter, unable to advance the runners or get on base. And there are now 2 gone.
That is coming back here, changing speeds. Great location for the changeup. Great movement too. She's nails in the circle after going 0-2, evening up the count and coming right back. She's working ahead of hitters, but credit to LSU is staying disciplined in these pitchers' counts, really making Peja work in the circle.
LSU, after that strikeout, they're down to their last 4 outs. And the Tigers will use another pinch hitter. In place of the slap-hitting Hodge, they will bring out of the dugout and give a bat to number 10, Riley Johnson, a freshman, a true lefty. A power-hitting lefty.
You know, Avery Hodge, who she's hitting for, has had a good 2 days putting the ball in play hard, but you want something into the grass. Hodge is going to give you something in the dirt.
High fly ball, foul territory and right, and that will drift out of play into the LSU bullpen. 1-1 the count on Johnson. A big moment here for a freshman.
It is, and if you're Pejogul, you want to keep this pitch down around the knees. Unless you're going to elevate with the rise ball, you got to make sure that one's out of the zone. Just saw Johnson show us that she definitely has some pop in that bat.
Johnson, just like McKee in front of her, 33 at-bats on the year. She has 6 hits, including a couple of home runs. So a third of her hits on the year have been homers. That'll be a ball that stays fair. Throw to first base is there in time. Not exactly a routine play, and Rivera, the catcher, gets the outs, and Mississippi State maintains a 3-run advantage as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
I know we're entering mayhem in the end of the season, but the softball doesn't stop there. Do not miss the AUSL Professional Softball League Draft Monday, May 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. We've already seen a lot of the golden tickets handed out this year for players that will be drafted, and 5 of those from the SEC. Reese Atwood, Leanne Good from Texas, Carlin Pickens, the flamethrower from Tennessee, Dakota Kennedy, Arkansas, and the catcher Jocelyn Erickson from Florida. All these players know that they are going to be drafted in the Pro League. They just don't know which team they're going to. So tune into that draft to see where your favorite player is going to continue their softball career.
Exciting stuff.
It really is.
They also announced they'll have their championship series
at Davis Steinman down in College Station. A beautiful setup, great facilities, stadium there.
Home half of inning number 6. Morgan Bernardini hits one deep, and safe at first is Bernardini. That ball was off the glove of Hodge. Edwards at short got to it and made about as good of a throw as you could. And Bernardini able to just beat it out at first.
Bernardini giving it her all down the line, reaches for the base, and Tori Edwards at first base. We've seen her. She's a great first baseman.
She is.
The way she can help out her defense and stretch and get the ball, but Bernardini just legs it out. A leadoff hit. Just the 3rd hit for Mississippi State since that first inning. Needs some insurance.
Leadoff base runner. And now coming on to run for Bernardini is the freshman Allie Supan. Trying to bunt her way on and bunting it up into the air and straight at Hodge is Des Rivera. Could not get the bunt down, and immediately LSU is gifted an out.
Kind of a buzzkill if you're Mississippi State, and this is a team that has struggled with sacrifice bunts in the past. But if you're LSU, you're saying thank you very much.
It brings up now the 9-hole hitting senior. Got a start in center field, now playing at first base, Abby Grace Richardson. And she'll take strike one.
And that bunt really just took the air out of the fans, too. I mean, they were in it. Cowbells are ringing. Now it's gotten pretty quiet again.
Richardson pops it up, foul territory. That will drift out of play. Unable to get the ball cleanly. There was a fan.
That's some boos.
That's an E10, right?
He's getting booed. Come on, guys.
It was, I mean, it was an adult.
That's great.
Oh. Now the sun got in his eyes.
Yeah.
No glove, so it's hard to make a play like that. Meanwhile, 1 and 2 the count on Richardson. With the top of the order, Styles due up. If either Richardson or Styles will come back up, as State's trying to look for some insurance here in the 6th. Oh, just swing and a miss right there. Runner takes off. Ball gets away from Edwards, who was covering the bag. So he's stolen base. Supan will end up in scoring position, but now there are 2 gone.
I'm not sure what is going on here. It almost looks like Richardson's trying to protect the runner. I mean, I don't see her chasing out of the zone that much, but with 2 strikes, I can't imagine it was a hit and run or some kind of protection, at least maybe a mix-up.
It was an odd-looking swing from the senior. So now 2 gone, runner on at second. The top of the order is up. It's Morgan Styles, who is 1 for 2 today. Had a single in the first, reached on a walk her last time up, sandwiched in between a fly ball to right field. 1-0 offering from Zalura is in on the corner for a strike. We had drama last night, got drama again today. 5-3 was the final last night, stayed on top. Dogs on top 5-2 in this one. Pop up behind the plate, and it's grabbed by the catcher, Bajaron. So the leadoff single, State can't do anything with it. LSU gets out of the jam. We head to the 7th inning. Tigers down to their final 3 outs. We head to the 7th inning at News Park. Mississippi State leading LSU 5-2 rather, by 3 runs in a top 20 showdown here as part of Super Bulldog Weekend. We've mentioned now a couple of times on the broadcast the large crowd. Turns out it is a record-breaking crowd. Over 2,600 in attendance today, setting a new News Park attendance record, and they have not been disappointed, Brittany. They've seen a really good ball game today and a really good, well-pitched game from that young lady in the circle for MSU.
Yeah, the fans have been locked in from the first pitch, on the edge of their seats. I mean, I feel like every inning LSU's threatened a little bit, then Peja Gould comes through with a big strikeout. These fans are certainly getting their money worth.
LSU down to their last 3 outs. They do have, though, the best section of the batting order coming up. Lassiter, Daniel, Kylie Edwards, and then Franklin, if anyone reaches. The top 4 in the order to face Gould. Foul ball, back behind the netting, or off the netting, back behind the first base dugout for a strike, and 0-2 quickly the count on Jayla Lassiter.
And we've seen Peja the past couple innings get ahead 0-2, and then these hitters work it back to 2-2, 3-2. If you're Peja, you want a good competitive pitch here.
Down and away, 1-2 the count. Lassiter today 0 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st and the 5th. Foul ball, she'll stay alive. Nice defensive swing from Lassiter.
A good adjustment by Lassiter. That's the pitch that she struck out on a couple times in this game. Able to get a piece of it.
Daniel and Edwards coming up have each recorded base hits. That'll be a line shot for a single. Lassiter's first hit, and it couldn't have come at a better time for LSU.
Lassiter did a great job staying balanced in her legs on this off-speed pitch and takes it right back up the middle, not trying to do too much, knowing base runners are so important with just 3 outs to work with.
We saw LSU get 2 runs across in their last at-bat last night and left the bases loaded. Trying to duplicate that today. Put some pressure on Gould and this MSU defense. Daniel had the big home run, a solo home run in the 1st, but has not been on base since. Struck out looking in the 3rd and then popped out into foul territory her last time up in the 5th. Counts even at a ball and a strike.
Daniel in her previous at-bats have been out in front. We've seen a lot of long fly balls to the right side of the field. He's just staying away in these first 2 pitches.
That ball downstairs, down and away again. 2 balls and a strike as Gould, the senior, is trying to go the distance. Slapper over to second. Flip to second is there in time to get the lead runner. No relay throw attempted, nor should it have been. And a nice job there by Gould and the Bulldog right side of the infield to get out number 1.
Incredible job by Morgan Stiles at shortstop, coming across the base, having to reach back across her body with a runner coming in at her to hold on to the ball. Big deal. Great play.
State's middle infield doing a good job there. Romero to Stiles. 4-6. LSU now down to their final 2 outs. Runner at first is Daniel. Kylie Edwards, the former Mississippi State shortstop, is now the batter. And she has been a good hitter today for LSU, as she has most of the season. Today she's 2 for 2, has been on base 3 times. A single in the 1st, a walk in the 3rd, a single in the 5th. That's upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Kylie Edwards with Franklin in the on-deck circle. If either of them reach, the dangerous Tori Edwards and her 11 home runs for LSU will step up to the plate.
They do not want to bring the tying run to the plate if you're Mississippi State.
Ground ball, flip to second, and it's there just in time. Romero grabbed it and kept the foot on the bag. Daniel is out, a force at second, and there are now 2 gone.
Romero returning the favor to Morgan Stiles. I think everybody thought Stiles, with her momentum, would be going to first base. Flips it over to Romero, and she's able to hold on to the bag, hold on to the ball. LSU down to their last out.
So now Mississippi State out away from taking the series. Strike delivered to Alex Franklin. She is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. A base hit and an RBI back in the third. That was the last time that anyone scored in the ballgame. Down and in, just misses. Record-breaking crowd on their feet here in the top of the 7th. 1 on, 2 gone. Tying run for LSU in the on-deck circle. High fly ball should be caught. Underneath it and making the grab is Kaylani Sells. And Mississippi State, in the honor of their seniors, gets a great pitching performance from their senior in the circle, Peja Gould. And they take a 2-0 lead by beating LSU 5-2.
What a sweet day to spend your senior day by getting a series win. Just the 5 runs in the bottom of the first for Mississippi State was all Peja Gould needed to support this team through the game. Looking for the sweep tomorrow.
Mississippi State 5, LSU 2. The Dogs have now beaten the Tigers twice. For Brittany McKinney, I'm Anthony Craven. Your final once again. State takes the victory 5-2 over LSU. Stay tuned. A special golden ticket ceremony is coming your way right here from News Park. This has been a presentation of the SEC on ESPN.
I think we need a little more cowbell. It's so amazing to be here with you today and make this very special delivery. I brought with me a golden ticket. Players that are presented with golden tickets have been drafted to one of the 6 teams season of the USL. And if this happens to be the 17th and final golden ticket, it is an absolute honor to present the final golden ticket of the year to Peja Gould.
What a moment here at News Park, live in Starkville, Mississippi. The senior Peja Gould pitches a complete game victory, one of the biggest wins of the year for Mississippi State in terms of postseason resume building. And then she's awarded the final golden ticket by the commissioner of the league on the field as soon as the game ends. What an awesome moment that we just witnessed.
Man, I'm getting emotional. I always get emotional when I see these golden tickets go out. But for Peja Gould, transferring in from mid-major at Chat, comes in and just has an incredible year, puts the world on notice, and being able to continue her softball career at the next level, all the credit to her hard work and dedication and what she's done. We saw 2 golden tickets handed out last year to Sierra Sacco and Raylan Chafin, and this year Peja Gould with the honor of accepting the very last golden ticket from the AUSL. The happy tears, the excitement, the joy, so many emotions. What a special moment here.
And what a career she's had, not just this season in the SEC, her first pitching at this level. As you see the family now allowed to come out onto the field. But her career, I mean, she's been good from day one. So rewarding to see her get this kind of accolade on this kind of a stage. I mean, it's hard to write a better script than this. Senior day, you throw a complete game, you get the win over LSU, and then you're awarded the golden ticket afterwards.
You can't write it any better.
Right.
I mean, just her whole story, too. Her journey from Chattanooga to here, just 1 year putting the world on notice and just being able to accept that. But where is she going to go? What team is she going to go to? We will find out May 4th. I know all the Bulldog and Bulldog fans will be tuned in at 7 p.m. on ESPN2 to see which of the 6 teams that young lady, that pitcher, Peja Gould, will be donning the uniform on this summer.
That'll do it from Starkville. Once again, final score, Mississippi State 5, LSU 2. Congrats to Peja Gould getting awarded the final golden ticket. We'll find out where she'll be playing coming up on May 4th. For Brittany McKinney, I'm Anthony Craven. So long from Starkville.